From here, I'll be showing how to download all the assets for the Flappy Bird Merit Badge game. Click on the Merit Badge, click on Download. It will zip the file up and download. Open up the file. We can now see the folder where it says .zip. Right-click, Extract All. You will extract the file, and it opens up this new file named the same thing except without the .zip. This will contain all the images and assets you will need. From here, I will be showing how to open up a new project and then importing all the assets. Open up a new Game Lab project. From here, you'll click on Animation and click New Animation, and you will upload image. We will open up our Flappy Bird Merit Badge folder under Downloads, under the Merit Badge, and we will now see this. We see an asset called Flappy1. Then we rename it by clicking on the name and calling it Flappy. From here, we can add new frames and upload Flappy2. Click on Add New Frame, Upload Image, and upload Flappy3. From here, we have our animating Flappy Bird. We'll add the other assets also. Click on Upload Image, Flappy Bird Pipe, and continuously do this for all the other assets that we need. From here, we'll be setting up our initial game variables and our Flappy Bird. We need var counter. We'll set that equal to 0. We need a var x. Set that to 50. A var y. Set that to 200. We need score. Var score. Set that equal to 0. We need a state called game over. We'll set that to false. We need another variable that's called game start. Set that equal to false. We need a variable called key release. Set that equal to false. And then to create our character or our Flappy Bird, we call variable sprite equals create sprite. And we'll call our x and our y, and then we'll set 20 to 20, which sets the width and the height of the sprite. And then the x and y sets the coordinates on our game. From here, from whatever we called our Flappy Bird, I called it Flappy, we'll say sprite dot set animation. We'll call it Flappy. Then we'll also do sprite dot set collider. We'll do rectangle, and then we will do 0, 0, 40, 20. Then we will set the sprite scale to equal 1, and the sprite depth to equal 2. From here, now we will create our obstacles and the world around us. We have var dirt equals create sprite. And what I found works is 0, comma, world width. Apologies. 0, comma, world height minus 20. Our play button, var play button equals create sprite We'll set that negative 100, negative 100. From here, we need a second dirt. We'll call it dirt 2, and you'll see why later. Call create sprite. And we'll set this one 152, and then set this to world height. And we'll say -20, and that places the dirt at the bottom. And say var world, which will create the background, and we'll center it right here, equal create sprite. Like so. And we'll say var game over sprite equal create sprite, negative 100, negative 100. And then now to make our obstacles. So we have var pipe 1 equal create sprite equals 500, 500. Oops. Var pipe 2 equals create sprite 500, negative 150. Var pipe 3. Let's create sprite 800. 500. And from here we go var pipe 4 equals create sprite 800, negative 150. Var pipe 5 create sprite 1200, 200, apologies, 500. And then var pipe 6 equals create sprite 1200, negative 150. From here, we are going to use our variables for some stuff. So we're going to say game over sprite dot depth equals 2, and then we're going to say game over sprite, and we're going to set the animation to game over. From here, then we'll set the world, set world dot set animation. We're going to set it to the background, which is the world. Then we'll say play button dot set animation is equal to the play button. Then we'll say the play button button dot depth is equal to 2. And then we'll say the world dot depth is equal to negative 1. And that puts it in the far background. From here, we'll say the dirt dot set animation, and we'll make it equal to the dirt, and then we'll do the dirt 2 set animation, and we'll also set it to the dirt. And then we'll do the dirt dot set collider rectangle, and then we should do 0, 0, 1152, 48, and then we dirt 2 set collider, and then it should be rectangle, and then 0, 0, 1152 dash 48, and that creates a box around our sprite so that it can be detected as a collidable object. And then from here we'll do sprite.scale is equal to 1, sprite.depth equal to 1, dirt.depth is equal to 1, apologies, sprite depth is equal to 2, and then we'll also do dirt2.depth is equal to 1. From here, then for the final part of initializing things, we need to create 3 points, and these will keep track of when the bird collides to give points to the player. So we'll call var point1 equals create sprite 500, 200, var point2 equals create sprite, and we'll do 800, 200, and then var point3 equals create sprite 1200, 200. Now we will finish up giving attributes to the rest of our variables. So we will do point1 equals set animation. Oh, forgot to create the animation for this. So what we'll do is create new animation, draw your own, and this should just be 100 by 100, and leave it blank. And we'll do set animation, and this should be called point. Call it point. We will do point2 set animation, call it point, and point3 dot set animation point. From here, what we can do is then set the pipe animations. Pipe1 set animation equals pipe 2 dot set animation, and so on, so on. So then from here we can set the depth for each of them. From here, then we can rotate 2, 4, and 6 upside down so that we can have our pipe going one way, up, and then upside down the other way. And we'll set 180 degrees. That way it's upside down. Oops, 180. Then finally, we will set the collisions. pipe 1. And we'll just say rectangle. And we'll do this for all of the pipes. And then that should be the end of setting up all the variables, and now we can move on to our functions. From here, we will now set up our draw function. In this, we want to be able to draw our sprites, so we call draw sprites, and then we also call game play. Now, we haven't set up gameplay yet, however, we will just place it right here and call it for now, as we're not going to be testing our game yet. And then from here, we will call our gameplay function and create it. Function gameplay. And then we're going to say if game over, meaning we're going to check if this is true or false. So if game over is true, then it will run the code that is captured within this bracket. We'll set the background to white. We will set the sprite rotation to 60 degrees. Then from here we'll say if sprite dot y is less than or equal to 360, which is the bottom of our screen, meaning if it has fallen all the way to the bottom, we will, if it has not fallen all the way to the bottom, we will increase it. So sprite dot y plus equals 20, as we want it to fall quickly to the bottom. Then from here, still in our game over function, or in our game over if statement, making sure that we are above the second bracket, we'll say game over sprite dot x equals the world width divided by 2, just place it in the center. We'll say game over sprite dot depth equals 10, and then we'll say game over sprite dot y equals 50 to place it a little below the top of the screen. Then from here we will create the play button, and we'll say dot x equals world width divided by 2, and then we'll say play button dot y equals world height divided by 2 to place it directly in the center of our screen. And then we'll also call draw sprites to draw all of this. Otherwise, we'll say else if, which is a different type of conditional statement, to say if this is not true, then check this, where if game start is true, where we have now officially started the game, we'll call a function called movement, which we'll create in a little bit. We'll call dirt movement, which we'll create in a little bit also, and then check collide, which we will also create in a little bit. We just want to set those up for now. So we have this all done, and then we will do if key went up, which checks on the keyboard, space, and then we will say the counter equals 0, meaning we're clearing it. If we're now going to say key went down, oh my bad, we're going to say if key down, there's a big difference between key went down and key down. We want to make sure we use key down, and then say and counter is less than or equal to 7. So this basically place this counter on a timer where we will increment it. We'll say if sprite.y is less than or equal to 0, preventing our sprite from jumping above our game screen, so above the border right here, we will say key release equals false, sprite.y minus equals 10, and this will decrease the y value of our sprite. We'll set the sprite dot rotation to equal -25, rotating them upward. We'll set the counter plus plus, meaning we'll increment it, and then we'll do sprite dot play. And then finally, exiting out of this if statement, we want to go down one to where this is connecting to this whole thing right here, where we will say else. Now this is if this condition is not true and this condition is not true, else we will do this. So we'll say if sprite.y is less than or equal to 340, then we want to call gravity. We'll call sprite.rotation to equal 25, rotating them downward. And then we'll say key release equals false. We'll do sprite.pause. Then from here, outside of the else statement, we're going to go out here and go fill black, as we're going to create a pen. We'll say stroke white, and then we're going to do stroke weight is 3, text size is 24, and we're going to do text score, and then we're going to do world width divided by 2, and then we'll do 50 for the height. So this will basically take in our number of whatever the score is and then place it in our world halfway in the middle of the screen at around the 50 mark for the y value. Then outside of all of this, we'll say else dirt movement. We'll do sprite.play, and then we'll do if key down is space, we can do game start equals true. From here, we should have our complete gameplay function. Now we will do our movement function. The movement function's purpose is to be able to move the pipes within Flappy Bird from one side of the screen to the other, and then once it is past our screen view, bring it back to the front where it will be seen again to move. So what we're going to do is called function movement, and then create our 2 curly brackets to place this code within. And then from here, we're going to do sprite.x equals 50, just to restrict the sprite from moving anywhere else on the x-axis. We're going to do pipe1 dot x minus equals 5. We'll do pipe pipe 2 dot x minus equals 5. And then we'll also do 0.1 dot x minus equals 5. So this allows our pipe to move all at the same speed from the top and the bottom one. Then we're going to say var space equals random number, and we're going to say between 100 and 260, as that is the values that I've determined best work for this project. We're going to say if pipe 1.x is less than negative 40, then we're going to want to take that pipe, and we're also going to say if pipe 3.x is greater than 400, and this allows for them, so once both of these statements are true, this allows for them, once it is crossed and then the next group of pipes has reached a certain threshold, that they're evenly spaced out. So say pipe 1.x equals pipe 2.x equals 0.1.x equals 1,000. This just basically allows you to set all of these values equal to the same thing at once. And then we'll do point one dot y equals the space. And then we'll do pipe 1 dot y equals space plus 300. And then pipe 2 dot y equals space minus 300. And this allows for there to be a gap in between so the bird can fly, and placing our point within that gap so it can recognize for when the player collides to add a point. Now, we will just do this 2 more times, repeating using the same code, except we'll be using pipe 3 and 4, 0.2, and then pipe 5, 6, and 0.3. So I'll speed through this part. Alright, now from here we have completed our movement for the pipes. Now we're going to write our dirt movement. So we're going to say function dirt movement, and we're going to do the curly braces, and we'll do dirt dot x minus equals 5, which basically says whatever the x value for this is, we're going to subtract 5 from it and set it equal to the original minus 5. Then we'll do the same for our second dirt variable that we created. We'll say minus equals 5. Then we'll say if, using the conditional statement, dirt.x is less than 0 minus dirt dot width, meaning that if the x value is less than the dirt value of its width, so if it has gone the whole way through from right to left, we're going to say dirt.x is equal to dirt2.x plus dirt2.width. And this will basically put it at the end of wherever the dirt2 width x position is, allowing us to do almost like a continuous conveyor belt. Then we'll say if dirt2.x is less than 0 minus dirt2.width. From here we'll do our little if statement with the curly braces, and we'll say dirt2.x equals dirt.x plus dirt.width. Now, we're going to scroll down to our gameplay, and we're going to comment out check collide for now temporarily, and we're going to hit run. Now we can see that Flappy Bird is flying, and that our dirt is moving from right to left. And then we can even press space to check and test it out. And the last thing that we have to do is we can see that there's no collision. So he just kind of flies endlessly without doing anything, without a care in the world. But you can hold spacebar and press it down and watch him fly. But we're almost there now. Now finally, for our last part, we're going to uncomment. So remove these two dashed lines from check collide. So now we just have check collide with no dashed lines. We're going to create a function called check collide. We'll do function. In here, this should be fairly simple. It's just a little long. So we'll say if sprite dot collide with pipe 1. So if we have said the sprite has collided with pipe 1, or how we do an or statement is we do two dashed lines down the middle. So we do that by doing shift, and then there's a backslash button that has a straight line on it. Or you should be able to type, yep, just use the two backslash lines, and we'll do another sprite dot collide, and then we'll say pipe 2. And now we have to do this for each of our 6 pipes. So we'll go through all of these. From here, now that we have said all of our 6 sprites, or all of our pipes, we do sprite.collide pipe 1, or sprite.collide pipe 2, sprite.collide pipe 3, 4, 5, and 6. At the end, we're going to place the 2 curly brackets and hit enter to open them up. We'll say game over equals true. Now we'll exit out of that if statement where we're in between these 2 curly brackets. We'll say if sprite dot collide with point 1. We're going to do score plus plus, which increments the score up by 1. And then we'll do point 1 dot x equals negative 100 to move it out of the way so you're not constantly counting up points as you're within the box of our point box. So now we're going to do that for each of the 3 points. So repeat this code 2 more times, but using point 1 or point 2 and 3. All right, from here, now we can hit run to test to see if our pipes work. By pressing space, we can see now that he's flapping, and what happens? Oh, we hit it and he dies. Now, our final thing we have to do is create a game over restart. So, to do that, at the bottom, what we're going to call is play button dot on mouse pressed, which basically allows for us to say, hey, if the mouse is clicked on this, allow that to be able to be recognized. And then we're going to say that's equal to a function, and we'll say if game over, we're going to say reset game. Now for our final function called reset game, it's fairly simple. We do function reset game like we wrote it above with the little curly brackets and the parameter brackets. We'll say we're going to basically set everything back to how it was originally. Counter will equal 0. we'll set the x equal to 50 and the y equal to 200. Score will equal 0. And then we will do this through all of our different variables that we set up as I kind of go through this. And the reason I'm doing this is because if we want to be able to repeat our game without having to reset or refresh the browser, this allows us to be able to replay the game while still running it fully. So it makes the game infinite. Oops, I forgot an equal sign. Now we will go through and reset all of our dirt and pipes. Oops. And then that should be it. Now from here you have a completed Flappy Bird game. We can reset, run it, press space, and we can see that points are now counting, and we can hit game over and click play to continue on. Now lastly, if you want to be able to load this onto your phone, all you have to do is press the share button, and you can do send to phone and enter your phone number or scan this QR code, and it will send you to a link that allows you to play the application on your phone. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Enjoy coding.